Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going to do a deep dive
Oh, yeah.
into a match that, honestly, on paper,
Yeah.
looked like a sure thing for Manchester United, but
Definitely not what happened.
yeah, it ended up being anything but.
Nope.
Tottenham hosted United and pulled off a 1-0 victory.
That had everyone buzzing.
Oh, yeah, it had everyone buzzing.
For sure.
We got match reports, we got tactical breakdowns, even some social media reactions.
Oh, wow.
So get ready to go beyond the score and really understand how this upset happened.
I love it. What's fascinating here is that this wasn't just a lucky break for Tottenham.
Right.
Ange Postecoglou, their manager, set them up perfectly to exploit some weaknesses in how United's been playing lately.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit.
Yeah.
The final score was Tottenham 1, Manchester United were held.
Not a lot of goals.
Not exactly a goal fest.
No.
But it sounds like the tactics behind it were pretty exciting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to remember Manchester United came in with this very structured 4-2-3-1 formation, which is all about control.
Okay.
And waiting for the right moment to counterattack.
Right.
But Tottenham, with their aggressive 4-3-3,
Yeah.
just didn't let that happen.
I can see why that would be a problem for United.
Yeah.
They're also dealing with some injuries, right?
Exactly. Ruben Amorim, United's manager,
Okay.
had to field a younger, less experienced squad than he probably wanted to.
Right.
This meant that their midfield, which is usually their strong point,
Right.
was a bit shaky.
Yeah.
Tottenham picked up on that right away.
So if United couldn't control the midfield,
Well,
what did Tottenham do to take advantage of that?
this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay, I like it.
Postecoglou's tactics, spot on.
Yeah.
They pressed high,
Okay.
meaning their forwards were basically in United's faces
Wow.
as soon as they got the ball.
Okay.
The key was that they weren't just running around like crazy. They were cutting off passing lanes to United's holding midfielders,
Gotcha.
Manuel Ugarte and Kobbie Mainoo.
Ah, so that's how they disrupted United's usual build-up play.
Exactly. It forced United into making long, risky passes that Tottenham's defenders were ready for.
Okay.
And with United's attack struggling to get the ball in good positions,
Right.
the match was basically played on Tottenham's terms.
And then comes the hero of the day, James Maddison.
Right.
Scores the only goal of the match.
Here he is.
How did that happen?
It's not just about the goal, is it? Look at the heat map from the match.
Okay.
Maddison is everywhere.
Wow.
He was involved in almost every dangerous Tottenham attack,
Okay.
and that's what they've been missing.
Right.
The goal itself in the 13th minute came from a rebound after Lucas Bergvall's shot was saved.
Oh, wow.
But it was Maddison's positioning and awareness that put him in the right place at the right time.
So it sounds like having Maddison back from injury was huge for Tottenham.
Huge.
But what about their defense? Did they just park the bus after getting that early lead?
Not at all. They stayed aggressive.
Okay.
And Guglielmo Vicario, their goalkeeper, had a fantastic game. He was also returning from injury.
Oh, wow.
Which just shows how important those veteran players can be for a team's stability.
Yeah, for sure.
One player who really tested him, though, even in United's weakened state, was Alejandro Garnacho.
He was one of their bright spots.
Yeah.
Even in the loss.
Definitely. He created some great chances and had a really good opportunity to equalize in the first half.
Oh, no.
If that shot had gone in, we might be talking about a very different match right now.
Okay, so Garnacho's missed chance was a potential turning point.
Big time.
But let's dive into why United struggled so much overall.
Yeah.
Was it all down to the injuries, or was there more to it?
The injuries definitely played a part.
Okay.
Especially in midfield.
Right.
But what's interesting is that Tottenham's tactics seem to have really thrown United off their game.
Yeah.
They weren't able to adjust. And you could see Amorim's frustration on the sidelines.
He didn't really have many options to change things up, did he?
Not really.
You mentioned the young bench.
Right. They had 9 substitutes aged 19 or under.
Wow.
It shows you the limitations Amorim was facing.
Right.
He even gave a senior debut to Cheeto Obi-Martin.
Oh, wow.
In the 90th minute.
Yeah.
But that was more about giving the kids some experience than a genuine tactical change.
So it sounds like Tottenham came in with a game plan, executed it flawlessly.
He did.
And United just couldn't keep up.
Yeah, it was impressive. But there are a few more layers to it that we need to explore.
Okay, let's do it.
Tottenham's fullbacks played a crucial role in their attacking strategy.
Okay.
And there were some really interesting individual battles that shaped the match. Ready to dig deeper.
Let's go. All right, so we've established that Tottenham had a solid game plan and United had some key players missing. But I'm curious, what were some of those individual battles you mentioned? Was there anyone else who really stood out for Tottenham besides Maddison?
Absolutely. Let's talk about Tottenham's fullbacks.
Okay.
Pedro Porro and Destiny Udogie.
Okay.
They were instrumental in how Tottenham attacked.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they did more than just defend.
Way more. They were basically auxiliary wingers.
Okay.
With Tottenham's midfielders drawing United's attention towards the center.
Right.
Porro and Udogie had tons of space to run into on the flanks.
Gotcha.
It constantly stretched United's defense,
Okay.
forcing them to make tough choices about who to cover.
So instead of just defending their own area,
Right.
they were actively creating problems for United.
Exactly. They were overlapping with the wingers sending in crosses, even cutting inside to link up with Maddison and the forwards.
Wow.
This created overloads on the sides, which is a nightmare
Oh, yeah.
for any defense to deal with.
I bet that made things even harder for United, especially with their midfield already struggling.
Right. They were constantly having to scramble to cover the extra attackers, leaving gaps elsewhere.
Right.
It's like trying to plug holes in a sinking ship.
Yeah.
You fix one, but another one pops up right away.
Okay, so Tottenham's fullbacks were playing a much more attacking role
For sure.
than we usually see. That explains why they were so effective.
Yep.
But what about United's setup?
Well,
Is there anything they could have done differently with their 4-2-3-1?
well, their formation wasn't necessarily the problem.
Okay.
It was more about how they were being overrun in midfield.
Okay.
Ugarte and Mano,
Uh-huh.
who are usually very good at controlling the pace of a match,
Right.
were constantly under pressure.
Mm.
From Tottenham's midfield trio,
They couldn't get into any rhythm.
right. And without a strong base in midfield, their attacking players,
Yeah.
like Alejandro Garnacho, Bruno Fernandes, and Timo Werner,
Uh-huh.
were basically starved of service.
Wow.
They had to drop deeper and deeper to get involved,
Yeah.
which made them less effective in the final third.
So it was like a chain reaction.
Yeah.
Tottenham disrupted United's midfield, which then isolated their attack, and suddenly their whole system fell apart.
That's a great way to put it. It
Yeah.
really highlights how interconnected all the different parts of a team are.
Right.
And it shows how a well-coached team like Tottenham, with a clear game plan, can exploit even the smallest weaknesses
Yeah.
in their opponents.
You mentioned Garnacho's missed chance earlier.
Yeah.
Now, I might be wondering why a single miss is such a big deal.
Sure.
But can you explain why that moment stood out to you?
Think about it. The score is still 0-0 at that point.
Right.
If Garnacho puts that one away,
Yeah.
it's a whole different game psychologically.
Oh, for sure.
Suddenly, Tottenham might start to doubt themselves.
Uh-huh.
United gets a confidence boost, and who knows what happens from there.
Yeah. Momentum is huge in football.
Absolutely.
One goal can completely change the flow of a match.
And it's not just about the score.
Right.
It's about the psychological impact.
Right.
That missed chance could have given United the belief that they could come back with all the challenges they were facing.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the tactical side of things, but what about the human element?
Sure.
You mentioned earlier that there were some interesting individual battles going on.
Oh, yeah.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. One that comes to mind is the matchup
Okay.
between Christian Romero,
Okay.
Tottenham center back,
Yeah.
and Timo Werner,
Right.
United striker.
Okay.
Werner's known for his pace and movement,
Right.
but Romero was absolutely phenomenal
Okay.
at shutting him down.
It sounds like Romero had his work cut out for him.
He did, but he was up to the task.
Uh-huh.
He was reading Werner's runs, anticipating his moves,
Yeah.
and making crucial tackles.
Wow.
It was a masterclass in defensive positioning and awareness.
So even though United had some dangerous attackers, Tottenham's defenders were able to neutralize them effectively.
Yes, and that's what made this victory so impressive. It wasn't just about Maddison scoring a goal or Tottenham's midfield dominating.
Right.
It was collective effort,
Right.
with every player contributing and executing their roles perfectly.
You can really see the impact of a manager like Postecoglou.
Yeah.
He's got them playing with confidence, discipline, and a real hunger to win.
And on the flip side,
Yeah.
you could see the frustration in the Manchester United players.
Right.
They weren't used to being outplayed like this,
Right.
and they couldn't find a way to turn the tide.
It had to be a tough lesson for them.
Yeah.
Especially with so many young players on the pitch.
Definitely. But sometimes you learn more from a defeat than you do from a victory.
That's very true.
This match will have given Amorim and his players a lot to think about as they try to regroup and get back on track.
This deep dive has been incredibly insightful so far.
Oh, good.
We've gone beyond the scoreline and really analyzed the tactical and individual factors that shaped this match. But there's still one big question that we need to address.
Okay.
What does this result mean
for
both teams in the grand scheme of the Premier League season?
That's a great question, and it's one we'll tackle next.
Okay.
This match wasn't just a one-off.
Right.
It could have significant implications for both Tottenham and Manchester United as they fight for their respective goals.
All right, we've dissected the tactics, the individual performances. But now let's zoom out a bit.
Okay.
What does this win really mean for Tottenham? It wasn't just 3 points, was it?
Definitely not. You have to remember, at the start of the season, a lot of people had written Tottenham off.
Yeah.
They were in rebuilding phase, had a new manager.
Right.
But Postecoglou has really turned things around.
It feels like they're playing with a real sense of purpose now.
Yeah.
And with key players back from injury like Maddison and Vicario, are they a contender for a top 6 spot now?
It's certainly possible. They're currently in 12th place with 30 points.
Okay.
But they're only a few points behind the teams fighting for those European qualification spots.
Right.
This win against United, a team that many considered a title contender, shows they can beat anyone on their day.
And let's not forget the psychological impact.
Oh, yeah.
Beating a big club like United in such a convincing way can do wonders for a team's confidence.
Absolutely. It sends a message to the rest of the league. Tottenham is a team to be reckoned with, and for the players themselves.
Yeah.
This win validates all the hard work they've put in under Postecoglou.
Now let's flip the script and talk about Manchester United.
Okay.
This loss has to be a wake-up call for them, right?
No doubt about it. Manchester United is a club built on a legacy of success.
Right.
And a mid-table position is simply unacceptable for them.
They've invested heavily in the squad, have a manager with a proven track record.
Yeah.
What's not clicking?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Yeah. While the injuries have undoubtedly played a role, I think there's a deeper issue at play here.
Okay, what is it?
A lack of clear identity.
What do you mean by that?
Well, Manchester United has had a string of managers in recent years.
Okay.
Each with their own philosophies and tactics. It's like they've been constantly shifting gears.
Right.
And the players haven't had time to adapt and develop a consistent style of play.
So even with talented players, they haven't quite figured out how to gel as a team.
Precisely. And until they establish a clear identity, a way of playing that's uniquely Manchester United, they're going to continue to struggle against teams like Tottenham, who have that cohesiveness and clarity of purpose.
So where does United go from here? Is it a matter of tactical tweaks or something more fundamental?
I think it's a bit of both. Amorim needs to find a system that plays to the strengths of his squad.
Okay.
And that might require some tactical adjustments.
Right.
But more importantly, he needs to instill a clear philosophy, a way of playing that the players can buy into. And that becomes ingrained in the club's DNA.
So this loss to Tottenham might actually be a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, I think so.
A chance for them to reassess and rebuild.
It's certainly an opportunity for reflection. They need to analyze what went wrong, learn from their mistakes, and come back stronger.
Right.
The season is far from over, but they need to act quickly and decisively if they want to salvage it.
This deep dive has been fascinating.
Oh, good.
It feels like we've gone beyond just analyzing a single match.
Yeah.
We've gotten a glimpse into the bigger picture of the Premier League season.
For sure.
The challenges these two clubs are facing and the importance of things like tactical identity and team cohesion.
And it reminds us that football is more than just goals and results. It's a complex game of strategy, psychology, and human drama.
Exactly, and that's what makes it so captivating.
Yeah.
We've seen how a well-executed game plan can overcome individual brilliance. How a single match can shift the momentum of a season.
Right.
And how the quest for identity is an ongoing challenge for even the biggest clubs.
So as you watch the Premier League unfold, remember to look beyond the score lines.
Right.
Pay attention to the tactical nuances.
Okay.
The individual battles, the stories that are being written on the pitch.
Yeah.
That's where the real depth and beauty of the game lies.
This has been a fantastic deep dive, and I hope you, the listener, learned something new today.
Me too.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions,
Yeah.
and keep diving deep into the world of football.